Climate change refers to the change in the environmental conditions of the Earth. This happens due to many internal and external factors. The climate change has become a global concern over the last few decades. Besides, these climate change affects life on Earth in various ways. These climate changes are having various impacts on the ecosystem and ecology. Due to these changes, a number of species of plants and animals have gone extinct. When did it start? The climate started changing a long time ago due to human activities, but we come to know about it in the last century. During the last century, we started noticing the climate change and its effect on human life. We started researching on climate change and came to know that the Earth's temperature is rising due to a phenomenon called the greenhouse effect. The warming up of Earth's surface causes many ozone depletion, affect our agriculture, water supply, transportation, and several other problems. Reasons of climate change. When the Earth absorbs the sun's energy, or when atmospheric gases prevent heat released by the Earth from radiating into space, the planet warms. A variety of factors, both natural and human, can influence the Earth's climate system. Natural causes of climate change. As we know, the Earth has gone through warm and cold phases in the past, and long before humans were around. Forces that contribute to climate change include the sun's intensity, volcanic eruptions, and changes in naturally occurring greenhouse concentrations. Anthropogenic causes of climate change. Humans, more specifically the greenhouse gas emissions we generate, are leading cause of Earth's rapidly changing climate. Greenhouse gases play an important role in keeping the planet warm enough to inhabit it. But the amount of these gases in our atmosphere has skyrocketed in the recent decades. Concentrations of carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxides have increased to levels unprecedented in at least 80,000 years. Indeed, the atmosphere's share of carbon dioxide, the planet's chief climate change contributor, has risen by 40% since pre-industrial times. The effects of global climate change. According to the World Economic Forum, the failure to mitigate and adapt to climate change will be the most impactful risk facing communities worldwide in the coming decade, and even ahead of weapons of mass destruction and water crisis. Blame its cascading effects. As climate change transforms ecosystem, it affects everything from the places we live to the water we drink to the air we breathe. Its many harmful effects include extreme weather, health risks, dirty air, rising seas, warmer, more acidic oceans, among many others. Extreme weather. As the Earth's atmospheric heats up, it collects, retains, and drops more water, changing weather patterns and making wet areas wetter and dry areas drier. Higher temperatures worsen and increase the frequency of many types of disasters, including storms, floods, heat waves, and droughts. These events can have devastating and costly consequences, jeopardizing access to clean drinking water, fueling out of control wildfires, damaging property, polluting the air, leading to the loss of life. Dirty air. Air pollution and climate change are inexorably linked, with one exacerbating the other. When the Earth's temperature rises, not only does our air get dirtier, with smog and soot levels going up, but there are also more allergic air pollutants. Health risks. According to the World Health Organization, climate change is expected to cause approximately 250,000 additional deaths per year between the year 2030 and 2050. As global temperature rise, so does the number of deaths and illness from heat stress, heat stroke, and cardiovascular and kidney disease. As air pollution worsens, so does respiratory health, particularly for the 300 million people living with asthma worldwide. Extreme weather events such as severe storms and flooding can lead to injury, drinking water contamination, and storm damage that may compromise basic infrastructure or lead to community displacement. Rising seas. The Arctic is heating twice as fast as any other place on the planet. As its ice sheets melt into the seas, our oceans are on track to rise 1 to 4 feet higher by 2100, threatening coastal ecosystems and low-lying areas. Island nations face particularly risk as do some of the world's largest cities, including New York, Miami, Mumbai, and Sydney. Warmer and more acidic oceans. The Earth's oceans absorb one quarter and one third of our fossil fuel emissions and now 30% more acidic than they were in pre industrial times. The acidification possesses a serious threat to underwater life, particularly creatures with calcified shells or skeletons like oysters, clams, and coral. It can be a devastating impact on shellfish fisheries, as well as the fish, birds, and mammals that depend on shellfish for sustenance. Rising ocean temperatures are also altering the range and pollution of underwater species and contributing to coral bleaching events capable of killing entire reefs, ecosystems that support more than 25% of all marine life. Climate change solutions. We can mitigate global climate change and help stem its detrimental impacts, but doing so will require tackling its root cause pollution from burning fossil fuels. Paris Climate Agreement. At the 2015 Climate Change Conference, nearly every nation on Earth committed to actions aimed at shifting away from the dirty fossil fuels and towards cleaner, smarter energy options in order to limit global temperature rise this century to 2 degrees Celsius or 1.5 degrees Celsius if possible. For its part, the United States, the second highest contributor to the global emissions after China, pledged to cut its output by 26 to 28% by 2025. Making good on that pledge, however, will require the country to fully implement the Green Power Plan, which establishes the first nation limits on carbon pollution from power plants. We must also move forward with the Obama administration's climate action plan, which includes steps to promote renewable energy sources, increase fuel economy standards, prioritize energy efficiency, and reduce emissions of greenhouse gases beyond carbon, such as methane. Climate action at home. Tackling global change is a Herculean task, one that depends on international census and the efforts of communities, companies, and individuals alike. To, to do that end, California, Iowa, and other states are championing clean energy industries such as solar and wind. Cities like Philadelphia and New York are taking action to mitigate climate change and bolster climate resilience. And in November 2016, hundreds of American companies voiced their support of low emissions policy and the Paris Climate Agreement. These are myriad ways that you can help too. Picking up the phone to call Congress about environmental policies that matter, supporting renewable energy projects, and prioritizing fuel and energy efficiency will not only curb individual carbon emissions but bolster clean alternatives to dirty fossil fuels. We must all step up now.